put his Argonauts in front by a touchdown. Terrence Jeffers-Harris on the return for the Bombers. Gets outside, and Jamie Borum there to drive him back.
Well, a real important drive for the Toronto Argonauts. The Bombers had built up a lot of momentum at the end of that second half with a couple of quick scores, a field goal to finish it. The Argos got that single, went into the room, and came out with a drive that had a little bit of everything, and some of the running ability of Cleo Lemon. Jamie Elizondo, the offensive coordinator, first year as the OC in Toronto, is trying to balance getting the offense in without getting it in too fast and pushing Cleo Lemon too far, but a real well-orchestrated drive to start the second half.
Misdirection, and Buck Pierce finds Adarius Bowman. Middlebrooks brings him down at the 50-yard line, but 15 for the rangy wide-out Adarius Bowman.
Well, the one thing that can end a play like this is penetration by the interior of the D-line, and they just don't get it. Adrian Obelli doesn't get in there. And watch all the play fakes that Buck Pierce is allowed to make. 1, 2, 3, stand, turn, move over. No penetration at all from the Argo defense, so that's why that play is allowed to happen.
Fourth catch, 57 yards for Bowman on the night. Freddie Reed. And Reed close to 4, straight ahead.
You know, it seems when Buck Pierce is struggling a little bit in the passing game, and he was early on in the first quarter, he goes to his running ability, and you see the 93 rushing yards. Once he started mixing up, running out of that pocket, buying himself some time, scrambling around, and he started to get the passing game going after that. So using his running ability to set up the pass.
Bombers quarterbacks were under 50% last year, passing percentage. Buck Pierce at over 72 tonight, 68 in week 1. They screen to Reed, and Fred Reed first down and a burst. And the last man stops him just inside the 40. Otherwise, he was headed to the end zone.
Looks like Pottinger is going to spy Buck Pierce because of his running ability. Watch Pottinger move to this side, even though Fred Reed is sitting here. And really one of the only guys in the linebacking core that can play. Now it looks like Pottinger's trying to spy Buck Pierce so he doesn't take off and run. They set up the screen to the opposite side. And Fred Reed picks up big yards.
Safety Willie Pyle brings him down. 19 for Reed. And the Bombers looking sharp on their initial possession, second half. Pierce in trouble and brought down. That's Busby. Jordan Younger, the Sam linebacker, heading to the Argo room as Alex Busby celebrates his first CFL sack.
You heard Jim Barker at halftime talk to Sarah about discipline and taking away the run lanes, and that's where Busby's going to take advantage. He's going to come upfield, but because there's discipline at the interior of the rush lanes by Adrian Obelli and Kevin Huntley, he can stay up high, keep working, then he slides back down as Buck Pierce steps up.
Second and 12. Pierce looks one way and then the other.
Oh.
And tough tackle there made. And Terrence Jeffers-Harris hauled down.
Yeah, that one didn't look good, the way he got bent backwards. And
Evan McCullough with the tackle on the corner.
he's sort of the check down man, just sitting out by the sideline. He just got bent over backwards. You can see the left knee.
I mentioned McCullough on the corner. I think he has moved into that Sam linebacker spot, vacated by the injured Jordan Younger. And we've got Harris hurt. We'll step out for a moment. The 2010 British Open Championship live from St. Andrews begins Thursday with coverage of all 4 rounds here on TSN and tsn.ca. Tee-off begins at 5 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Pacific. I'll be up early, you'll be up late for the Open on TSN. So it's third down. Alexis Cerna on to attempt a 43-yarder. Mike Renaud, the holder. Taylor Inglis, the snapper, and Cerna, with that new combination, is now 2 for 2. And it's 24-20 Argonauts. Let's check back in with Sarah Orlesky.
Chris, when you think about the Bombers defense, it's hard not to think about Doug Brown. In his 10th year with the team, the 6-time All-Star is really the face of this defense. Well, teammate Philip Hunt says that he doesn't just help them on the field, he helps them off it as well. He gave Hunt pots and pans. And when I asked Doug about it, he said that it seems that his basement has really become a storage place for a lot of the players when they leave in the off-season. With all of them intending to come back the next year, well, inevitably retirements or some cuts happen, and they never return to get their stuff. So he says he's grown quite the collection downstairs in his basement, so he feels it's the least he can do to help. Said that the pots and pans given to Hunt were Joe Fleming's.
Doug, a 10-year veteran. That's going to be one good garage sale one day for Doug Brown when his career's over.
Yeah, and I asked Philip Hunt if he does the cooking, and he said no, he stopped short there. He handed over the pots and pans, but helping out the young guys, and it's going to be a good defensive line here this season with Philip Hunt and the great start he had. A little quieter tonight, but it's been a battle between Doug Brown and Corey Boyd in this one already tonight.
Argos opt to accept the kickoff after the field goal, wanting to get it in the hands of Chad Owens. There's a late penalty, and Courtney Smith downfield in a hurry. At that time, the decision to put it in the hands of Owens, not a good one. Holding call, and Cleo Lemon is not going to come out with the Argonaut offense. So Brady Brown has knocked Lemon out.
Strong number 51 on the return. A 10-yard penalty, first down.
You knew Fontaine called on the penalty.
You knew it was a hard hit, Chris, because you could see the ear pad of Cleo Lemon as he hit the ground there and took that hit on the goal line. His head popped out, and I thought I saw the ear pad of his helmet dislodged in there, and that means it's a real solid hard hit. So we're going to see Dalton Bell, who had a very good preseason.
First live fire for Dalton Bell, who had a terrific preseason. But some thought good enough to win the job. Corey Boyd gets 2 or 3, and this Winnipeg Blue Bomber crowd getting fired up.
Versus Montreal, there's his numbers in the preseason. 247 yards passing, good completion percentage. Did have a couple of interceptions. Versus Hamilton, he completed 70%, wasn't out there quite as long. So the preseason, in fact, it created some kind of debate in the Toronto area as to whether or not Cleo Lemon should be the starter, but Jim Barker really felt that he had won the job through everything else, not just preseason numbers, but every day of practice, how he was controlling the huddle, how he was showing leadership, and all of those things added up to him getting the start. And he looked good in that drive. And he's looked good in this game for a young quarterback, an inexperienced quarterback. But now Dalton Bell, due to injury, gets a look.
Odell Willis shaken up, taking the walk to the sidelines. Dalton Bell, 2 years as the number 3 man in Saskatchewan. Didn't take snaps there. Now the number 2 man in Toronto, so a lot more reps for Dalton Bell. And now he's into the fire. 2nd and 8. Bell on a roll. Downfield, open man. Chad Owens with the catch, and Dalton Bell will remember his first completion in the CFL.
Well, and he might have had a bigger play, but Chad Owens had to fight back to the football because it looked like Dalton Bell, as he rolls this way, is a little off balance, trying to get it out there. You've got to think he's not real loose yet. He's on the run, trying to throw on the run. And he has Chad Owens wide open up here. If he throws that in stride, Owens turns that corner, turns upfield, and is gone. But he fights back, comes back with a big play anyway.
28 yards. You talked about the win zone. The Argos get out of a hole with that completion. Play action. Bell stands in. And that pass, Rito says he's got it. And the referees say incomplete.
Brandon Rito out there, 2 catches in game 1. Real nice deep ball from Cleo Lemon versus Calgary. Just a question as to whether or not he uses the ground to help him out here, if he uses the turf. And he does. Not only does he use it to help with the catch, it actually rolls around a little bit on that grass, or artificial grass.
2nd and 10, Copeland in motion. Short drop, and that ball almost picked. Ike Charlton back into the game and was almost headed for a quick 6.
Well, that's what you wonder when a quarterback who hasn't had all the reps, and Dalton Bell certainly hasn't. He's got more reps than a third-team guy, but not those starters. He starts to lock in a little bit, and you're going to see Dalton Bell lock in here. And watch how he stares that way. You're going to see Ike Charlton sit. He sees him staring at it and jumps underneath that one. He was gone.
Johnson back, awaits the kick from Moore. Under 3.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Johnson at his 32, a no yards flag, and that will be the 15-yard variety. Devon Johnson up across the 50. Good return. Well, the Purolator Tackle Hunger Night in Winnipeg. Bomber fans have donated over 120,000 pounds of food since the inception of this terrific program, and our sack tally is brought to you by Purolator. Tackling hunger across Canada, check.
Winnipeg got out of the chute week 1 with 7 sacks. BC Lions, who will play tomorrow night, host the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's 1-2-3, top of that list.
Argos by 4 with their starter on the bench. And Buck Pierce on a roll. Terrence Jeffers-Harris sheds a tackle and takes off. Terrence Jeffers-Harris, touchdown. They were so excited about their rookie receiver in training camp. 60 yards and a go-ahead Bomber touchdown.
Well, remember the last series, he went off limping. Looked like it could have been a knee or a hip pointer. Buck Pierce in big trouble in the backfield, somehow gets it out there. Jeffers-Harris fights off the tackle, makes the catch in great speed with a little help from his friends down the field to get it to the end zone.
His first CFL touchdown. Cerna the extra point. And Winnipeg has the lead.
Terrence Jeffers-Harris going to end up in the flat out, right out of here, a little curl route on Samuel Joseph. Joseph's in good position, but watch how he fights him off. Comes back to the ball, little step right there, comes back. Now he wants to get to the outside and outrun the angles. He's going to get a little block by Darius Bowman right there, but I don't think he even needed that one. He had the angles and the speed to get to the end zone and the smile.
Rookie smile, 4th catch, 100 yards, and his first touchdown. Here comes Ryan Christian. There go return man, brought down by Donald Brown Jr. Paul LaPolice has used a theme this year. The Bombers were named back in the late 30s for Joe Louis. He was the Brown Bomber, and the Bombers were so physical, they were called the Blue Bombers. And Paul LaPolice has put clips of Joe Louis into his highlight packs to motivate his players. And he'll have a little Joe Louis knockout after that Terrence Jeffers-Harris catch, to be sure. I didn't know that's how the Bombers got their name.
I didn't either. Not many did.
They 11 back in, and he's going to air it out. Looking deep. And incomplete. Trying to hook up with Jeff Webb.
Yeah, I didn't know. Argo fans, I'm sure, happy to see Cleo Lemon back in the lineup, and he certainly showed you his arm strength there, because that ball was right on the money, about 65 yards down the field. He does get some pressure, so he can take that hit, because he takes another one right out of the gate. That's about a 65-yard throw, folks, and right there.
Jim Parker telling us yesterday that that was one of his strong suits, touch on the deep ball. 2nd and 10, and they are revved here in Winnipeg now. Pressure, trouble, and ball dropped, but ruling it incomplete.
And this will be ruled incomplete, even though a whistle hadn't stopped the play.
Jeff Johnson, the intended receiver.
I don't think Jeff Johnson had control.